You can only see so much when you're looking through a window that's smeared with green vomit. By the mid-90s, the original Game Boy was starting to feel like a relic. Home consoles had already been generating gorgeous 16-bit sprites for years, and they were about to usher in the polygonal era of 3D graphics. And in comparison, well, let's just say what once broke ground now seemed simply broke. So when Rare and Nintendo set out to bring a variant of their wildly successful Super NES title Donkey Kong Country to the Game Boy, well, skepticism was the obvious reaction. How could they put one of the most impressive-looking 16-bit games ever on such an aging, outdated, Cold War handheld? How could that possibly work? You know, in retrospect, that might have been a silly question. I mean, how exactly is a rainbow made? How does the posi-track rear end of a Plymouth work? It just does. And so does Donkey Kong Land for the original Game Boy. Released exclusively to the puke green granddaddy of portable gaming, Donkey Kong Land hit store shelves in 1995, just a year after Nintendo released the incredible Donkey Kong 94. Now, that game was not only one of the very best Donkey Kong games ever, but it was also one of Nintendo's all-time greatest handheld games, period. Throw in this game just a year later, and man, this was a very good day for handheld DK. Of course, where Donkey Kong 94 expanded upon the concepts of the original arcade trilogy, Donkey Kong Land is cut from the Donkey Kong Country cloth. This is basically just another Donkey Kong Country game, built from the same gameplay, the same level designs, and most impressively, the same spectacular sights and sounds. There's something to be said for originality, and this game has little if any, but that's exactly what made Donkey Kong Land so extraordinary in 1995. The fact that Rare made so little compromise in bringing the country template to an 8-bit handheld is really a stunning example of squeezing as much as you can from the available hardware. But there's more to Donkey Kong Land than just technical savvy. This game is fun for the same reasons its Super Nintendo cousin is one of the all-time great platformers. Playing as Donkey and Diddy Kong, you're out to retrieve your stolen bananas. Now, Cranky Kong says that pretty graphics are the only reason Donkey Kong Country was so successful, and so he prompts the evil King K. Rool into once again stealing Donkey Kong's bananas. Now, the reason? He doesn't think Donkey Kong could cut it in 8 bits. I mean, that is absolutely brilliant. The gameplay is largely the same kind of bouncy, rhythmic platforming that makes Donkey Kong Country so fantastic. It's no coincidence that these games place such an emphasis on their soundtracks because the gameplay is built upon the same kind of rhythmic foundation. So where does Donkey Kong Land falter? Well, there are a few limitations that are unavoidable given the hardware. First of all, your viewing frame feels a little too tight. The Game Boy screen doesn't have the kind of size that makes fast platforming easy, so enemies seem to come at you more quickly than usual because you can't really see them until they're right there. That issue is unfortunately kind of exacerbated by the graphics. Now, impressive as they may be, some enemies are hard to discern against the backgrounds. So not only is your viewing frame small, but it's also a bit cluttered at times. So you end up playing this game a bit more slowly than you might play the Super NES games. Fortunately though, you'll enjoy every second of it once you get used to playing the country formula within the restrictions of the platform. And as it is, Donkey Kong Land is a very impressive display of development savvy, but more importantly, it's also a blast to play.